Hey everyone, it's Maribel Blue with a new Pathetically Unfiltered. If you are new here to this channel, welcome. I do news and reactions, and if you are not new, welcome back. Before we get started on today's topic, I want to do a commercial about my store Servebox. I am currently doing a fundraiser. This store is very, very important to me. It ties in with all of my life coaching and Reiki healing. I do sell soaps and crystals. And in this fundraiser box, I am going to show you what you will get. So the box will accompany a bar of soap, and I'm going to take the soap out. These soaps are all samples. I do not sell anything that I touch. I prepare everything in gloves so that those non-allergic gloves, they're like pink, so nothing is touched with bare hands when I prepare all of my boxes. It will come with a loofah sponge and a lotion. Now, these lotions are for sale, so I will not be opening them up. I will open up one that has already been opened, and this is the unscented lotion. So this lotion, I will show you, it goes on very smooth and it has no smell at all, like literally at all, no scent. When they say unscented, they do not play. The vendor that I buy from, he is a certified vendor. I do not make any products here. I buy all of my products via wholesale through a vendor that is certified to make these products, just so you know. And as you see, the lotion that is now stuck in my fingernail has completely disappeared. It feels good. It does not feel greasy at all. It's like the best lotion ever. As for the soap comes in cut up. Now, I am selling loaves for $30. And I know that sounds a lot. You do get about 10 to 11 bars depending on the cut. But know that the cut of the soap is very thick. Like very thick. You are getting your $30 worth. This soap will last, especially if you are using washcloths. And it smells so good. This is the lemongrass. No, this is the lemon soap. And it smells just like lemon. The thing is, the scents aren't overpowering. Now, I do have specific scents for the fundraiser box. If you are interested, I will put that link down below, and please support small business. Every purchase that you make goes towards everything that I use, all of the tools. Remember, this is a domino effect. So if I'm not purchasing from my wholesale, the wholesale also gets affected. So please support small business if you can, and just shop servebox.com. Thank you. So remember when I said in my last video, like a couple of videos ago, how I was not going to discuss Michael Cohen and Midas Touch and everything that happened there with the falling out? Well, I lied. I could not help myself when I saw everything that has been happening with Michael Cohen. Like literally insane, but I'm not surprised. I said this in my last video. I found it suspicious when Donald Trump was allegedly voted, he won the vote, right? And he's in the White House. And his whole thing was, well, we need to stand behind him and hope that he does good things for us. We pretty much knew Donald Trump and all of his little cronies that are in the White House had zero plan. This is 2026. Okay, we are at the end of March when I'm recording this. He has done zero for the American people. Last I checked with the gas, because I know everybody was obsessed with the gas. I think out here in Arizona it was like $5.79. I don't think that people would be happy at the pump paying $5.79. Other places are much more expensive. Not everybody has a battery operated car. And this whole shit that's going on with Iran right now, it's just an absolute nightmare, catastrophe. I'm not going to get into that because I spoke about that in my last video when I had used the Lincoln Project doing news and reactions to that. Just know Iran is not filled with stupid people, and they will hold on to this. Everything that the United States and Israel did, unaliving children, I almost said the other word, unaliving children. No, they will not forget this. And people that are in the White House right now are just, they're like bumper cars. They don't know which way is up. And Kash Patel, his email got hacked. I mean, it's just, how much more stupidity are we going to endure? Because it goes beyond stupidity. We're talking about people's lives here, the American people, and how we are going to be protected. I don't know. Needless to say, here's Michael Cohen back in 2024 when he was doing lives on TikTok talking about, oh, we have to stand behind him. No, the fuck we don't. And everything that has transpired, his falling out with Midas Touch, and now he's talking about possibly doing a podcast with Laura Loomer Loser. So I am going to play a video for you of Michael Cohen on Lara Trump's podcast. I want you to pay attention to Lara Trump, her facial, her eyes, because she's not buying anything that Michael Cohen is saying. You see, it's kind of like that mob mentality where you're with one family and you're faithful to that family, or loyal, I should say. You're loyal to that family. And then you become not a loyalist and move on to something else, and then that something else doesn't work out for you, and now you want to come back into the fold. Do you think that family is going to be so trusting of you? No, they're going to be watching you like a hawk because you already fucked up the first time around.
Tonight we're joined by the host of the YouTube show, The Michael Cohen Show, and Substack creator Michael Cohen. Michael, I got to be honest with you. The bingo card for 2026 was not that we would be sitting down together and having a conversation, but you actually reached out to me, which I really appreciated. I don't think you and I have talked in 10 years or so.
9 years to be exact.
There you go. In 9 years. Okay. And you kind of reached.
Of course, Michael Cohen would know exactly when he departed from his family. It probably hurt him every day not to be around them. He must have felt like he was missing out on something.
Reached out very frustrated to me yesterday, and I said, why don't we sit down and talk? So why don't you tell me what's been going on with you and why you felt compelled to come out and really, talk here on this platform of my podcast?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's clearly happening right now in the country. There's a lot of stuff that's happening with me personally, where, believe it or not, my own Democratic Party has started to pull away from me because I refuse to answer into a narrative that ascribes to their ideology. But the reason I reached out to you, and I was so...
Doesn't that lingo sound familiar? I may be more disruptive of this video because everything that Michael Cohen is saying is the narrative of a MAGA. So no one should be surprised.
Thankful, Lara, to be honest with you, that your response was so gracious. I mean, it is 9 years since we used to sit down and engage in conversation. Somewhere along the way, we as a society have allowed politics, right, to convince us that if you sit down with someone who maybe holds a different view, well, then it must mean that you agree with them on everything. And that's simply, obviously, not so. And that's not how democracy works. And so I thought that having a conversation with you would be something worthwhile.
Yeah, I actually think, you and I probably first met, Michael, if I'm not mistaken, through the Eric Trump Foundation, through my husband's charity, which, you used to be a part of. You'll be happy to know, by the way, that we just made a pledge for $50 million to St. Jude. We have built out an ICU and surgery suite. But I'm going to start there.
Actually, Lara, I hate to say it, you
Yeah.
and I met way before that.
Did we meet before that?
It
But we
was
spent a
even
lot of
before-
time at ETF.
Lara, it was even before you were dating Eric.
We dated for a while.
Yeah.
But listen, what you're talking about.
And can I just say the foolishness, the fuckery of, we donated $50 million. What do you expect? A gold medal for that shit? Like, you're only doing it for the tax purposes. It's not about the children. I mean, let's be real about that.
I think is so important. And you know, if I think back to the time where you and I probably spent a lot of time together on that
I
charity.
miss those days.
I miss those days too, because
course
it
he
was
does.
great and we had a great time and we raised money for a great cause. And I saw almost immediately how politics played into that. How people attacked a charity that did incredible work, that continues to do incredible work, right? You saw that firsthand. But I think that the question right now for a lot of people, in like, you know, what you said was very nice. The reason you're here and the reason that you wanted to have a conversation with me is it seems like, have been feeling a lot of pressure and almost like you've been canceled in a way by Democrats who at one time embraced you because you refused to go along with their narrative as it relates to Jeffrey Epstein and President Trump. So what is it that they're trying to get you to say, or what is it that they've been asking you to do, or certain people, I guess, have asked you to do?
So it's on both Substack, it's on YouTube, it was on every single social media platform that I have and I am currently subscribed to, and that I participate in as a host and a creator. They want me to say, and I refuse, and I mean it, and I've said this many times, I refuse to embellish, I refuse to distort, I refuse to lie about what I actually know regarding the alleged relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and the president. Now, remember, I go back with President Trump to 2007. And I spent, actually a year prior to that, when I was a partner over at Phillips Nizer. I spent almost a decade and a half by the man's side. And there's a whole group of people that unless you say the worst, when you refuse to participate in that narrative, well, what do? They attack me instead. And the false claim that I'm being attacked on every single day is that I threatened, that I coerced, that I intimidated in order to get a withdrawal of a case which was called Katie Johnson, which is also known as the Jane Doe 1 case in my specific matter. Katie Johnson was one of the Epstein survivors that claimed to have had a relationship or a sexual relationship encounter with the president. And that is simply untrue. In fact, this thing got so out of control thanks to Joy Reid. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Thanks to Joy Reid, I was successful in getting in touch with the attorney who actually represented Katie Johnson / Jane Doe 1, who publicly stated, sent me a text message stating, I have never worked with anyone named Michael Cohen. But the problem here, Lara, is that during the more than the decade that I worked with the president, I've said this and I get attacked for it. I never saw Jeffrey Epstein in the office. I never heard him on the speakerphone. I never saw communications between them. I never communicated with Jeffrey Epstein, never emailed him, never spoke with him, never texted him, nothing at all. They simply want me to invent facts for a political narrative, and I refuse to do it.
Michael Cohen is a trip, let me tell you. He is a trip. He is literally taking back anything that he has said within the last year. And you know, he was working very closely with Midas Touch. So who knows what kind of receipts they have of conversations that Michael Cohen may have had with them. And I highly doubt that they are going to use that as part of their channel, whatever it is that they're doing now, because I made it clear I don't subscribe to Midas Touch and I don't listen to anything that they have to say, because they're more like a TMZ kind of a channel. And to have attorneys on board and not really talking about the legal aspects of what is happening and how we can be more informed with that. It's kind of like it doesn't help. It doesn't help me, and it doesn't help others either to be well informed. As for Michael Cohen and talking about, he wanted to clear his name. Basically, this is all about him and clearing his name and saying, listen, I didn't have anything to do with Katie Johnson, calling Katie Johnson a liar. He just wanted to have that clean slate that he wasn't involved in that case in any way, shape, or form. Okay, fine. You're cleared. But he's using this, and he's using MAGA lingo to get back into this fold of, well, the Democrats, this and this is not about Democrats versus Republicans. This is about morale. Do you want to be aligned with people who were involved or are involved in some sort of sex trafficking and or do you want to be involved with that? I don't know. I don't even know if I should be using the pedo word, so I'll probably just bleep it out. When you think about everything that he said up until this point that I played, he's full of shit. He is full of shit to say, oh, well, I never saw this, I never saw that. Really? We can't take away the relationships that Donald Trump had in his past with John Casablancas, Gerard Marie, Jeffrey Epstein tied to Ghislaine Maxwell and Jean-Luc Brunel. We cannot take away the past. That's the bottom line. And for Michael Cohen to say, well, I never heard, I never saw, that's irrelevant at this point. Maybe, Michael Cohen, you didn't have the authority to be around Jeffrey Epstein. And maybe authority isn't the right word. More like, you don't belong with us kind of a thing. Why would Jeffrey Epstein be friends with people who don't meet him financially? Michael Cohen doesn't have that kind of money, I'm guessing, to be on the line to be around Jeffrey Epstein.
What it basically says is that every single one of us commit 3 felonies a day. And what really irritated me a lot and caused me to write that, and again, hindsight being 2020, a smart person would say, since it caused me so much trouble, that I should stay away from it, but I would not, because it actually bothered me a lot after there were allegations of Letitia James doing mortgage fraud, that case did not go forward, and not for the basis of being factually inaccurate. It had to do with the fact that the person who brought the case was not authorized within which to bring the case. So it's not
now, picture that shit. He is basically saying that the reason why this whole Letitia James case went down the drain was because somebody wasn't authorized to bring this case. It sounds like he's still accusing Letitia James of something she didn't do, and it was proven.
On the facts of the case, but an intervening circumstance. When they went ahead, when Tish James was campaigning, and this is to me the most violative of what I believe is the basis of our Constitution and our democracy, that I'm running on a platform of going after an individual. I don't care who that individual is. I don't care if it's Lara Trump. I don't care if it's Michael Cohen. I don't care if it's Donald Trump. I don't care if it's Donald Duck. That's not a platform that a district attorney or an attorney general should be running on. And to me, what it is it's almost a political hit squad. And when she was standing there on television and talking about how she was successful in defeating this claim by Trump, it's not accurate that it was predicated on facts, because if she did actually commit the crime of the mortgage fraud, having the 2 different properties, well then pursuant to the book, 3 felonies a day, she would be held accountable and she would be guilty to the same extent, for example, that anybody else would be, regardless of it's 10,000, 15,000. Yeah, they said that was a ticky-tack sort of case. Well, how about what was brought up against me? Was that not ticky-tack? Everybody said that it was a ridiculous case to bring. Was it not the same regarding the president? Absolutely. But a crime is a crime, and just because you're the DA or the AG should not mean that you should escape liability and accountability.
So I want to say this, because I was making notes when I was watching this video, and I do want to read my notes. Blaming the left as a tool to attack, which is bullshit, because Cohen was playing both sides at the same time for the last few years. In addition, Cohen needs money. I mean, like, I don't know what kind of money he was making with Midas Touch. Think about the times that he was doing lives. He was also making money back then through TikTok. So those coins and people who were supporting him there, also if they were buying his book, because remember, he was also pushing his book. So he was doing everything possible to make as much money as he could. And again, I don't begrudge people for putting themselves out there, selling their books, making money on TikTok. That is not the point here. The point is he was playing both sides. And anyone who was watching his lives and listening to him was very well aware that Michael Cohen was not being honest. At least just my own personal opinion. And the other thing is, Michael Cohen lost his license because he was convicted. So he could be doing this because maybe he wants to get back into being a lawyer, being a practicing lawyer. You can't practice without your license. So who knows what strings he's pulling in the background in order for him to get that license back, if that's a possibility. I mean, I don't know. I've worked for 2 of the biggest law firms back in the early 2000s. I don't know if a lawyer can go forward in front of the board and get their license back. I don't know. I would have to look that up.
I have to tell you, I think, look, our family certainly has been through a lot, but I know that your family has too, Michael. And
To suffer.
well, I really would love to hear how this has been for them. This entire experience must have been extremely stressful for obviously you, but your family as well.
Yeah, you're going to bring tears to my eyes now because first my parents, you know, my dad now is 90, my mom is 83. I remember they were sitting directly behind me in the courthouse when the judge sentenced me 6 years, 3 years incarceration, 3 years a supervised release. It's a 6-year sentence for, you know, for things that nobody else, for doing an NDA, right? For campaign finance violation. And then I have, of course, my wife of 31 years, right? I missed my 25th anniversary because I was incarcerated. I missed her 50th birthday. I missed it. You want to hear the craziest story? So before going away, I wanted to make her 50th birthday really special. And so I set up and prepaid for a dinner at a very beautiful French restaurant here in Manhattan. It was one of our favorite. And the day before her 50th birthday is when a helicopter fell out of the air
Oh, my
and
God.
landed on the building. I couldn't even get that done.
Oh,
Imagine.
geez.
There was, I literally broke down. And you don't cry when you're in prison, so you cry inside, right? There's even in where I was at, which was Otisville, the minimum security camp. You just don't, under any circumstance. It landed on the building that housed the restaurant, so I couldn't.
You can't
even
make
do
that up. That's crazy.
You can't make that up. And then my children, you know, my son at the time was starting college, first year. Didn't make it easy on him. My daughter, who had just finished college in terms of jobs and people Googling the kids, really heartbreaking. Because people could be so cruel. We see
People
the
are awful.
cruelty right now every single day.
Yeah.
When you have people who attack you, regardless of knowledge, regardless of facts, they attack you simply because of who you are.
I'm going to not play this video anymore because I don't want people getting any more disgusted than you may already have. Here is my thing. Of course, you know, my handy note card. It's funny how they were both sitting there complaining on how the system works, going after them because of criminal activities, which is exactly what is happening now. How can Michael Cohen get upset when his actions filter through his children who are graduating from college, who are seeking jobs in whatever respective career? Yes, unfortunately, the actions of somebody else, in this case, he's a parent, and those are his children, his actions are going to have an effect. And you know what? No, I agree. It's not right because his children are separate people. They did not commit the crime. Therefore, they shouldn't have to pay for their father's actions, being in prison or whatever the situation is. Yes, he's right, and I agree with him. But at the end of the day, when Michael Cohen decided he wanted to work for Donald Trump, that came with consequences. And this is the thing. People don't seem to understand the cause and effect, the laws of probability, the critical thinking of making choices, and how those choices are going to affect you later on down the line. I mean, we all learned this in Sesame Street. It's very simple. You have all of these videos coming out with these people talking about this dummy with an axe going to Iran.
'Cause these are my people, and this is my land.
Wait, weren't all these people for peace like literally 2 seconds ago? Why does he have an axe? It's not like the Iranian government saw the video and they were like, bro, we better just surrender now. Bro, oh no. Jared from the woods of Wyoming has an axe and he's ready to fucking fight us, dude. Also, I don't know who's gonna tell him, but like Iran has axes too. Like that's not. I don't know. Does he think he looks scary? No one's afraid of him.
Yeah, good luck with that axe, dummy, because they will take you out instantaneously. You step foot in that country, you will not survive. I don't think that people understand the levels of what is happening in our world today. You are not a badass. That's the bottom line. You're not. And Michael Cohen played both sides until he couldn't anymore. He probably could just not get over that he was not part of the Trump family and found his way back in. I don't know if Lara Trump is buying his bullshit. I really don't know. The look on her face listening to him, she was kind of like looking in other ways if you see parts of the video. But you know what? Michael Cohen, in my own personal opinion, lowered himself because he needs the money. And it's sad when we are in a situation where we do things like that. I personally would not. I would rather be broke and struggling than crawling back to somebody who is stealing from the American people on a daily basis and nobody's doing anything about it. So I really don't know. I can't say this is the last time that I will talk about Michael Cohen. I did check out his channel and he said that he was going to start doing something different and he's renaming the channel.
Okay, my friends, brand new concept. It's going to be called Questions for Cohen. So welcome, my friends, to Questions to Cohen, a segment where I'm going to jump into the comments section. I'm going to read what you're saying and I'm going to respond directly to you. The good, the tough, the ugly, and the funny. I see it all right? I appreciate every single one of you who take the time to leave a comment. So seriously, that engagement is what keeps this community alive. So keep them coming. Your questions, your opinions, even your disagreements. I'm going to dive right into them. I'm going to give you my take, and I'm going to answer as many as I can. Let's take it to the comment section. Go.
Questions and comments for Cohen.
And stop.
I don't even know what to say. I really don't. Who wants to read scathing comments? Hence the reason why you have to be a subscriber to comment on my videos. Any disparaging comments will be deleted after 60 days. I don't even read them. So if there are comments going back like more than 3 months ago, they're already gone. I never read them. I don't care to read them. I don't care to read MAGA comments. And this is not going to be helpful at all. I wish Michael Cohen very good luck with whatever it is that he's trying to do. But at the end of the day, he is not going to be looked upon as a favorable and trustworthy person because he played both sides. Let me know your thoughts. And again, you must be a subscriber in order for you to comment on this video. This is Maribel Blue signing off. And as always, remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other, and most importantly, take care of you. Bye, everybody.